we would buy these companies, and literally 24 out of 24 times we'd go in and the frontline employees were sitting in a chair that you wouldn't put your worst enemy in. On the second day of an acquisition, what we would do is we would very demonstratively kind of roll into the office. We would get everyone to stand up, and we'd grab all those lousy office chairs and just literally rip them out. We would wheel in the brand new Aeron office chairs. They'd have balloons tied to them. But there's actually a really funny backstory about how we got to be a Herman Miller Aeron chair fan. And at the risk of offending my former CFO, I'm going to share that story. So we had a lot of lousy office chairs in our company, and it was time to really get the frontline employees the most comfortable, ergonomic, efficient chair we could possibly buy. We put a focus group together, and we got down to 2 finalists. It was the Herman Miller Aeron, and Steelcase made a chair called the Steelcase Leap chair. We go through the whole process. We select the Aeron. We're going to buy about 200 of them company-wide, and it was really expensive. So my CFO comes to me and says, hey, we can't buy the Herman Miller Aeron chair. I know you got people to pick, but we don't have the money to buy that chair. But there's another company called Hahn, and they have their top-of-the-line office chair, and I think we should buy that. And I very reluctantly said, I really want to get the Herman Miller chair. But, our senior team made their own decisions. She was in charge of the finances and the money, and it was really important to her that we buy the chair that we could afford. So we buy the Hahn office chair. I forget the name of it, but it was their top-of-the-line chair. So we've just put in the chairs, and it happens to be town hall meeting time. So I'm all excited to go kind of out in the field and see these office chairs. So we get in the plane Monday morning. We fly to Dulles. It's a beautiful morning. We had an office in Reston, Virginia. About 10 minutes in, the town hall meeting, it's gone great. I said, hey, how do you guys like the new chairs? And one expert kind of in the back, we called our frontline people experts, sort of sheepishly raised their hand. She said, well, they're really nice, but we don't like how they cut you on your arm when you use them. And I thought, what do you mean? She said, well, when you slide them under the desk, the padding on the arms has peeled off, and the metal underneath is starting to cut us on the arm. I was like, oh, no, that's not good. I said, all right, we'll get that squared away. And I'm a little disappointed, but we've got 16 more town hall meetings and 16 more offices over the next 5 days. So back to the plane, fly to Dayton, Ohio, get out, drive to the office, 10 minutes in. Hey, how do you guys like the office chairs? Well, they're okay, except when they cut us. And I thought, oh, no. So fly to Cincinnati, they cut us. That night, I have the out-of-body meltdown. Turns out all the office chairs we bought didn't fit under the desk of the cubicle systems that we had. The arms were peeling off. The metal was cutting everyone's arms. I called our CFO. We probably had one of our less pleasant exchanges on the phone that night. And lo and behold, I said, you have to figure out how to return these chairs to Hahn, get our money back, and go out and we're buying, I don't care if we can't afford them, we're buying the Herman Miller office chair. So we do that. It's a huge success. Fast forward, 4 or 5 years later, we sell our company to an S&P 500 publicly traded company that shall remain nameless for this story. We're helping them with acquisitions of call centers. My COO, he goes and we do an acquisition. He orders the Aeron chair, the Herman Miller chair, and he gets a call from the head of HR, and she says, Kevin, you can't buy Herman Miller chairs. We don't buy Herman Miller chairs. And he said, no, it's really important when we do these acquisitions that everybody knows we get the best chair you can get. It's just for the frontline people. And she said, Kevin, I can't approve the Herman Miller Aeron chair. Our CEO doesn't sit in an Aeron chair. And he said, yeah, neither did ours. These are just for the frontline. She said, no, but the good news is we have this relationship with a company called Hahn, and they have this top-of-the-line office chair. Lo and behold, it was the same chair that we had at Appletree. And sure enough, cutting everyone. The arms are peeling off, and I'm happy to say now I believe that they also buy the Herman Miller Aeron office chair when they do acquisitions. But funny how, that things that you think are good decisions that were well thought out oftentimes in the field kind of backfire and don't have quite the outcome that you had hoped for. So that's our funny backstory to the Herman Miller chair.